We're talking about using piperine supplements or black pepper in your cookery to enhance autophagy. Cellular cleanup is called autophagy. Cellular recycling is what it is. It occurs when outdated, deteriorated cell components need to be recycled in order to eventually power the healthier cells. At the molecular level, it's survival of the fittest. When you search for information about lifetime and longevity online, any legitimate source will relate it to diet and activity. Exercise in particular is one of the two essential components. However, there are other factors besides exercise that may increase longevity. And let's discuss them without being gimmicky or cheeky. Therefore, the first one is one that is utilized as a supplement to enhance heart health rather frequently. Additionally, it is discussed in that world, although not much from the standpoint of longevity. So let's get started. I want to start by discussing a vitamin, specifically coenzyme Q10. And since it's not only about extending life, I want to show you some literature to explain why it's so potent. The goal is to improve life quality. Coenzyme Q10 is now crucial for both lowering oxidative stress and maintaining cell function. We will mostly discuss it from an energetic perspective. In essence, it makes it possible for electrons from the food you ingest to be converted into energy more effectively. That's the most straightforward way to sort of explain it. This study, which was published in the journal Nutrition, Health, and Aging, examined elderly individuals who were given either selenium, coenzyme Q10, or a placebo. They were then observed for 4 years. Thus, they examined both the quantity of hospital visits and their quality of life. The group that took coenzyme Q10 had a far higher quality of life and spent a lot less time in the hospital. As a result, their quality of life, cognitive function, and physical ability all decreased less. They simply had a higher quality of life and were generally healthier. In other words, when you eat, you will absorb electrons from the meal. You mean its energy? And after passing over this gradient, those electrons enter your mitochondria. To put it simply, they essentially descend and, with each drop, produce a small explosion. The energy from that small explosion is captured. Coenzyme Q10 allows the electron to be caught on something slightly larger when it falls, which is similar to an internal combustion engine in many ways. If the electron doesn't land on the ground, it can bounce, go rogue, and actually lower your quality of life. Therefore, it improves energy efficiency, which is just what we want, particularly as we age. NMN is the next supplement. Mice are the subject of the majority of nicotinamide mononucleotide data, but some intriguing human research is now beginning to appear as well. To provide some background, I would want to start by citing a rodent model study. Thus, Cell Metabolism published this study. It examined healthy mice and discovered that giving them NMN stopped the physiological decline associated with aging. In technical terms, it lessened the physical consequences of aging. Compared to mice not receiving the NMN, it kept them from physically aging as much or more. They also discovered that it made them more active. It made them more sensitive to insulin. It enhanced their lipid and cholesterol profiles and stopped age-related weight gain. Why is this occurring then? For example, what makes NMN so fascinating? Enamine essentially gives you extracellular energy as well. I've included a link to a seed probiotic below this video. Seed puts their money where their mouth is, but I don't always take probiotics because many of them are total shit. They use a multi-stage delivery system that involves a capsule inside a capsule. Thus, you are receiving both a probiotic and a prebiotic simultaneously. There is actually another capsule inside if you bust it open. Very impressive technology then. Additionally, gut health is important while discussing the realm of longevity. It's a crucial component when discussing inflammatory reactions and, naturally, digestion. Once more, if you're making any dietary changes this year, one of the first things you should do is switch up your probiotic or somewhat alter your gut microbiota so that your body can begin implementing the changes inside. That's the link below. Our bodies contain a substance known as NAD. It's also a limited resource. Human function depends so heavily on NAD that we would perish in 15 seconds if we were without it. Therefore, our NAD stores decrease as we age. NAD is preceded by NMN. Theoretically, adding NMN to your diet increases the amount of NAD and energy accessible to you, allowing you to do more than just provide you energy. Thus, consider getting an additional pair of hands. It's similar to having a helper. Now that you have more energy, You may use it to activate other things and engage in activities that promote lifespan. However, there is currently a human clinical using NMN that was quite intriguing. This study, which was published in the journal Science, examined individuals who were pre-diabetic and placed them on NMN for 10 weeks. They discovered that NMN made these people's muscles more sensitive to insulin. As we age, this is crucial for maintaining metabolic health. How does that relate to longevity? Every path returns to the mitochondria. As we age, if our muscle cells are sick and we are not insulin sensitive, our mitochondria begin to suffer. Since our mitochondria are where we produce energy, our energy levels drop, we grow weak and fragile, and eventually we die metabolically. Therefore, we can enhance energy once again if we can maintain that a little bit by raising insulin sensitivity. It all boils down to preserving that vitality as we age. The following one is woo-woo witchy, which I adore since people enjoy hearing it and completely ruin the fun. We are discussing ginger. Ginger contains a substance known as 6-ginger-alm. The majority of the literature on ginger will now focus on fruit flies and mice. Drosophila. Alright. They now do this since it's simpler to carry out longer-term lifespan studies or a little more in vitro research. However, they discovered that applying 6-gingerol to fruit flies raised their levels of catalase and superoxide dismutase, two of the body's most significant natural antioxidants. A vitamin C tablet is an antioxidant. Glutathione is an antioxidant if you get an infusion of it. However, your body's natural ability to produce antioxidants, such as superoxide dismutase or catalase, is far more potent than any antioxidant supplement you could ever eat or consume because it is made in your body for your body. Based on the first results we're seeing in fruit flies, ginger appears to be an easy way to possibly activate these antioxidants, which may extend human lifetime. The next one is very intriguing since we have heard that taking piperine or black pepper with turmeric can be useful. We've all heard that taking turmeric can improve the bioavailability of curcumin by 2,000% since it slows down the breakdown of the liver. That's all well and good, but we're talking about using piperine supplements or black pepper in your cookery to enhance autophagy. Cellular cleanup is called autophagy. Cellular recycling is what it is. It occurs when outdated, deteriorated cell components need to be recycled in order to eventually power the healthier cells. At the molecular level, it's simply survival of the fittest. This study was published in Oncotarget, and while I must admit that it is a mouse model study, it is nonetheless quite fascinating. Thus, it was reported in Oncotarget that these mice were neurotoxically induced. In essence, they caused neurotoxicity in these mice, and discovered that giving them extract from piperine black pepper stopped the neurotoxic effects from impairing the mice's motor skills. Neurotoxicity is a dangerous condition that would provide you with tremors that would no longer be able to move. However, piperine seems to prevent the neurotoxicity. However, upon closer examination, scientists discovered that this also enhanced autophagy in these mice. It did this by blocking a protein known as mTOR-X1, which caused autophagy. Some folks will tell you, oh, you should reduce protein intake because protein spikes mTOR, if you look at a lot of the longevity study. First of all, protein is far more complex than that, even though it seems like a reasonable argument on the surface. I would like to set that aside. Protein is essential. However, the mTOR argument actually makes logic. The likelihood of DNA mutation and cellular damage increases with the frequency of mTOR spikes. Thus, autophagy is mTOR's opposite. Thus, it appears that black pepper somewhat inhibits mTOR and promotes autophagy. As you age, this becomes even more crucial. Furthermore, you don't have to constantly activate autophagy by eating black pepper. Building muscle and using a small amount of mTOR are obviously very beneficial. However, in this instance, the effects of adding black pepper to your food, taking a piperine supplement, or combining curcumin with piperine or black pepper may be quite intriguing in terms of cellular cleansing. This next piece focuses more on timing. This is fascinating. Those of you who follow my channel may understand what I mean. Nonetheless, there is some recent research on meal timing that focuses on the Abruzzo region of Italy. They now live for a very long time in Abruzzo. There are many persons in their 90s and many centenarians. This study was published in Frontiers of Nutrition because the authors were genuinely curious about what these individuals were doing with their diets. Their diet is similar to that of other parts of the Mediterranean. You name it. Lots of fish, lots of high-quality dairy, lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of fiber, moderate protein, olive oil, etc. However, they saw that they didn't eat past roughly 7 o'clock p.m., which was what was truly fascinating about Abruzzo. At night. Additionally, after 7 o'clock p.m. or so, they didn't eat anything till they went to bed. After that, they went about 17.5 hours without eating. They found that individuals over 100 and in their 90s were fasting for 17.5 hours after meals. They would typically fast for 17.5 hours, but they might drink some espresso or black coffee. Following that, they would eat before having dinner once more, and repeat after rinsing. They are benefiting from this since it permits a gut reset. Thus, it permits that healing of the gut. They are also able to be insulin sensitive, which is beneficial for their metabolism and mitochondria. Additionally, they are able to maintain a healthy caloric deficit since, as we have seen, a caloric deficit is often quite significant. A calorie deficit is generally necessary, while some research indicates that if your diet is excellent, it might not be as crucial. In order to potentially improve on what we have discovered from people in Abruzzo, Italy, we now turn our attention to rodent model studies. This study, which used a rodent model, was published in Science in 2022. It's among the most intriguing rodent studies I've ever seen. They discovered that when they gave mice a 22-hour fast and a 2-hour interval for eating, thus, they would consume food in 2-hour blocks, then fast for 22 hours, resulting in a caloric decrease of roughly 30%. Hence, a 30% calorie limit. Their lifetime increased by 10% as a result. Absolutely. A 10% increase in lifetime is equivalent to a 30% calorie loss, consuming precisely the same number of calories. The same 30% calorie deficit resulted in a 35% increase in lifespan if the mice's eating schedule was adjusted to match their circadian rhythm, which would suggest that they ate during the day and at the same time each day in that little block rather than at night. Just changing the date of the fast resulted in a significantly greater gain in lifespan, the same calories and shortfall. Therefore, it appears that one of the most crucial things you can do is to front-load your food. Additionally, more recent research in Cell Reports suggests that you can eat as much protein as you like in a single sitting, and it will simply continue to digest. It won't be squandered. This means that one of the best things you can do for your sleep, your circadian biology, and possibly your longevity is to have a large, high-protein breakfast and then fast for a significant portion of the day. Finally, we must discuss something that was once supposed to be exclusive to the wealthy, well-known, or residents of Finland. Saunas. You are no longer in need of a sauna. Dr. Rhonda Patrick and I just had a lengthy conversation regarding hot water immersion, hot baths, and how they trigger the same processes as sauna sitting. Although saunas may be more relaxed, enjoyable, and social, many individuals don't sit in baths with other people, but they frequently do so in saunas. The advantages are still pretty much the same. A research on the Finnish population was published in JAMA. They discovered that the risk of cardiovascular disease was reduced by 22% when saunas were used 2 to 3 times a week. On the other hand, they would have a 63% lower risk of cardiovascular disease if they sat in a sauna 3, 4, or even 7 days a week. And it all comes down to the heat shock proteins once more. The heat shock proteins essentially increase the efficiency of autophagy and cellular cleanup, as we discussed. In summary, exercise is clearly highly important. The kinds of foods you eat, the nutrients you consume, and the micronutrients are all important. However, the largest levers you can pull outside of exercise are definitely adding coenzyme Q10, adding NMN, adding ginger, adding black pepper, taking a sauna, and front-loading your meals. Keep it locked here on my channel, as usual. I'll see you tomorrow.